Take your seats. The show will begin in 5,
4,
3, 2,
1.
Thursday night CrossFit talk with Scott Schweitzer and Jamie Latimer.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory, dock. Giving them all that we got. Kick on the door. Try to knock, but nobody answered. I'm going hard and taking my chances. I keep it moving. I keep advancing. Keeping it gangster.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night CrossFit talk. We are live on a Thursday night, and I have to start this week's show with another game show gripe
Okay.
that I have to get off my chest. I just have to.
Okay.
I took Tuesday off from work. It was the day after my birthday, and I just wanted a day to myself to watch whatever I wanted to, and I'm watching The Price is Right. Who in their right mind bids $1 with 2 bidders left?
Oh yeah, that's just silly.
It's not a race to get to say $1
No.
because the next guy can go $2.
Yeah. And if you're smart, you will. Well, not if you're the third. You wait, but
So this guy was on, and he either bet the $1 or like the 501 on every showcase, and didn't get out. Didn't get out at all. Stuck there the whole time.
I'm glad he was stuck there at least.
Lex, last week it was Jeopardy. No, it wasn't Jeopardy. It was Wheel of Fortune. The people who buy all the vows. Now tonight on Wheel of Fortune, right before I came down here, a lady did that where you like the game freezes and you just get to call out consonants to build up a bank, and then you can solve the puzzle once the thing's over. She wanted to solve in the middle of it, and like Pat's like, no, you get to build money. You're not spinning, so you can't go bankrupt. Like, keep making the money.
Oh boy.
Where do they find these people?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Goal for 2024: get on a game show.
Yeah, I always thought being on Family Feud would be just that would be it, man.
If I got on Family Feud with my family, it would end in a feud.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that with my family too.
And not the good one.
Yeah.
You and the problem with if you took Aaron on, like the two of you would debate what the answer should be when they come to you for that, like, can you steal? You would debate for a good 30 minutes on what the answer should be.
Yep, you're right.
So Lex did say Scott and his Price is Right saga. Sarah, I watch Price is Right every time I'm homesick. No other time. Pretty much me too. And I work from home. Like literally I could like flick it on behind me and have it on during the workday, but I just don't. But I do tend to watch it on my days off, which is odd.
Yeah. That's respectable of you for your job.
Yeah. Andrew, Jeopardy is a show lately that I just don't miss unless like we're going out to dinner with friends, things like that. But I do try to watch it just about every night. And Lex says, oh, it's okay. I'm the same with Judge Judy. So, yeah. I know I used to work with when I worked in the office, Judge Judy fanatics. They actually had like an antenna TV in the break room, and they would put it on during lunch, and like the floor would just empty.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I just feel like those like courtroom shows are so scripted. Like it's sometimes you're watching it, you're like, really? Like
You
this
don't
can't be
think
real.
Judy's laying down the justice?
No, I don't. It's that or same thing. Where are they finding these people? Because holy cow.
I don't know. I think like if you're trusting these judge shows to like rule on a true legal matter, you yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is not called Thursday Night Game Show Talk or Judge Show Talk. But they keep coming. Sarah says Maureen maternity tests are hilarious. And that is not fake. Yeah.
Yeah, that and Jerry Springer. Holy smokes.
Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. Hello, Ohioan. Former mayor of Cincinnati, where Andrew Sten currently resides.
Shout out.
So yeah, we are a CrossFit show. We're going to talk some CrossFit stuff. A bunch of stuff came down today. I threw you a text because like every Thursday. So I try to start the notes earlier in the week. Of course, I'm a protagonist or whatever, procrastinator, and I'm loading it all up today, and then more breaking news and more breaking news and more breaking news. I'm like, oh my gosh! So we're going to start with CrossFit announced a partnership with GoRuck. Now, after an announcement yesterday, many people believed that this announcement was going to be that they were going to become the new title sponsor.
Right.
Nowhere in this announcement does it say that GoRuck is a title sponsor. It is just the official apparel and footwear partner of CrossFit and the CrossFit Games. It does have an interesting caveat in here. The partnership will see GoRuck launch a new CrossFit branded apparel line while delivering apparel and footwear to all CrossFit seminar staff. Complementing the partnership, CrossFit trainers who hold a level 1 training certificate or higher will have access to exclusive programs, discounts, and other benefits with the brand. The heart of GoRuck is the community, the people who have been with us since the beginning, pushing themselves, being better, and serving others, said Jason McCarthy, founder. And while the community has evolved, the pillars on which it exists are the same. These pillars and commitment to the community are the collective tissue with CrossFit, which is why I'm confident this will be a successful relationship for years to come. And there is an aspect of this that is reaching out to the affiliates.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find that as part of this. The other Jim Letchford.
Yeah, Jimmy Left. Yeah, I saw that.
Jimmy Letchford. He actually says it is about apparel and shoes, but it's more about deepening existing communities through shared missions. And and then they just give some of Jimmy's credentials.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can't imagine GoRuck is. I guess I don't know a whole lot about their clothing, and beyond. And I saw like some of their T-shirts that they were showing there, but like, do they have men's shorts and women's shorts and leggings? And are they going to outfit the kit for the games athletes?
I believe that is going to be the case. So I do know that they sponsored Emily Rolfe through last season. She wore all of their apparel at semifinals in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
And she did have shoes that were made for her to CrossFit in. And she helped, because she was one of their first athletes, she got to help develop them.
I've actually heard good things about their shoes. Although, man, I think I don't know if that's the route to go down, is to force the shoes on all the athletes. I actually think that was a good thing of going away from that. So to hear that they're the footwear and clothing sponsor gives me a bit of pause. Lex, I'm said it here too. They don't have lifters unless they make them. So like, yeah, right there, another piece of outsourced branding that's going to have to come in, and maybe that's the compromise. That's for lifting events or whatever. That's when you can wear a different shoe. But other than that, you got to wear these shoes. It's just, I find it, I find it interesting to force athletes into shoes. Like everyone's feet are different.
I don't believe that changed in the rule book when we went over it last week. The caveat about that you have to wear the apparel excluding footwear. I think that's still in the rule book.
Okay.
Because we would have gone over it had it changed.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
And we didn't really do that. And so I don't remember that change in the rule book at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe it'll be something you see on just like the volunteers and it does just say seminar staff, which is different than like all your judges out there. That's not all seminar staff. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at their clothing a little bit more. It'd be nice to go back to some bolder colors. I always like that about the Reebok games.
And it's not that I love bolder colors, but it allowed you to differentiate the athletes because they had a wide variety of colors to choose from every year.
Mm-hmm.
And just by chance, you usually got different combinations that you were able to tell who was who.
Exactly.
That was my beef during the No Bowl years is one, the name was so small on the jersey. And then, and you couldn't tell who was who because the combinations couldn't get very varied with what they had to choose from.
Yep, agree.
So, but traditionally Go Ruck is green, brown, white, black.
Right. So
and
more
not like
that.
Not neon green.
No.
We're talking like army green.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't mean they're not open to brighter colors for this aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It also says in here, I was reading as you were talking, that the partnership is really only the 3 shoes. It is the CrossFit shoe, the ballistic trainer, and their ultra supportive rough runner shoes.
Okay.
So, Kenneth says, watch 2019 game stock this past weekend. Uniforms were choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Megan. Their website is still a lot of neutral colors. I remember when they were kind of introduced to Rogue in 20 or 21. It was 21. And they had a booth where the athletes came to collect some gear that they had made for them. And it was all the neutral colors. So, but it doesn't mean they're not willing to change.
Yeah. Maybe they'll hear some feedback and migrate that way. But.
Yeah. So Andrew Sten asks, sure, if I can get it to show. They did the, nope, that's not what Andrew said. That's what Sarah said. So Sarah says they did the custom ruck for Mayhem last year with the flag inside, I think. They did. You are correct on that. And then Andrew said, I wonder if their deal covers other events. Yeah, nothing in the press release about that. And then Megan says, like they expect us to get muddy. That's a different sport.
Yeah.
All right. So that was one of the things that came out today. The other thing is the first exemption has been released and it went to Roman Krennikov. He is going to compete and this is all via the Barbell Spin, so you can check the full story out there for that. Roman is going to compete in the North America East semifinal again this season and will not have to return to Asia to compete in any aspect this year.
That's good.
If you read the full article on the Barbell Spin, there are some questions as to how Roman actually qualifies based on the bullet points of the new rule book. And it is a little like, because he would not have to return home. There are no, because of the visa he possesses, there are no longer visa issues. So why is it that he is granted an exemption when it doesn't meet anything in the bullets of the rule book? Not trying to be negative here. Just, I think Brian Spin wrote the article. He brought this up at the end of it. It doesn't seem very transparent when Roman doesn't meet those criteria that are set forth, or even the new criteria of being a resident here for 3 years.
Right.
He hasn't quite made it there yet.
Right.
He's only at 2.
Yeah.
So,
interesting. Because that's gonna. I mean, that's somebody else is going to apply and get denied, and then there's going to be a whole fight over that.
what seemed last year, they were handing out exemptions, like Oprah was handing out cars back in the day. You get an exemption, and you get an exemption, and you get an exemption. So,
I just wanted to go back with the sponsorship. Do you feel like there's not going to be a title sponsor? Like, that logo that they released, do you think that's just like a G trying to look like a G for the games? Or do you think there's still a logo to go inside that and there is going to be a title sponsor?
we're looking at the notes. The logo is up next. I'm just kidding you.
It is towards the bottom, yeah.
I do not know. I don't know what game that we're playing, because I don't think they planned on announcing this today with GoRuck. It's only because someone screwed up and put them on the website prior to the announcement being made that they had to hurry up and get the announcement out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a different, if you actually read when they released the logo, which we can talk about now too as well, the G stands for something else. Like, there was a full explanation as to what that whole logo stood for, and it was supposed to be it was supposed to represent like a shield,
Okay.
of protection, and that the athletes can overcome that at times, and that's why CrossFit Games is leaking out of the shield. And then the G, I don't think it's for games. I think it's something that made less sense to me. But they did have a full explanation as to every aspect of that logo and what it stood for, what it meant. And the G was not for GoRuck. It was not for Glock, as many people said on my Instagram. It was not for Glassman Kenneth. It actually had some kind of like esoterical meaning behind the whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I guess if I was doing my due diligence, I could pull it up and tell you what it means. So you keep talking about your logo, and I will pull that up real quick.
Yeah, show to the audience this fancy dancy logo. It's something. At very first glance, it looked a little Born Primitive-ish to me, but the way CrossFit Games is written in there, I just can't see that even being a possibility. I can see the shield aspect, and that's always sort of been a backbone of the
So
games.
I stand corrected. It is a crest.
Yeah.
It is the new CrossFit Games modular logo system includes a logo, a crest, a monogram, and even a short name logo format based on how the CrossFit community refers to various stages of the season. The core of the new logo system is the CrossFit Games logo, which overlays the crest. The crest significance as an image of protection and movement is symbolic of CrossFit more broadly in how it protects its practitioners from poor health and moves us toward fitness. Diaz also added, it forms a G shape with its open right side where the game's logo is set just outside the shield, which is symbolic of how CrossFit breaks the mold, remains against the grain, and creates a community that values movement and openness. But they never say what the G is for.
Games. I mean, if you think about us breaking down the season.
And I will pull it up here in a second.
It's something.
There it is, people.
There it is, Jody.
Ta-da.
Take it all in. Yeah. Agree, Andrew. It is a lot of explanation behind something that really should just grab you and like this I don't know that it just grabs you.
I hate the font. Like the
Yeah, I
font
don't.
is just boring.
Yeah, I think out of all of it, I don't like the games the most.
Right.
Mhm.
Games in 2024
Yep.
could be a little bit better.
Mhm.
I'm okay with your crest and your shield and the G or whatever, but games in 2024 is so bad. It looks weak. It
does look a little weak. I get their crest type, shield type idea. I mean, because even the 24, that's kind of always been the thing, right? Behind the logo. But I think that had like a bolder disposition about it. Like you just, I don't know. It stood out to you. This is simple and effective, Ken. I don't know.
You look at the CrossFit font and it is bold, it is strong, it is all the things that were described in that press release, right? Of breaking through and protecting and all of that stuff. This one, the games is not that. It's
Right.
thin. It is it doesn't look strong. It looks weak to me. That's my problem. And then one of our listeners on Instagram said that it was an homage to Noble saying goodbye to them, but using their style.
Hmm.
Carolyn Prevost, I thought it was green though. This is straight from the press release, Carolyn. Straight from the press release. And it is just the logo with no background. So you could pop it on whatever color you wanted, I guess. And I know Spin put out a green one, but that did not come with the press release.
Megan, the more I look, the more I dislike it. Yeah, that's not good.
Yep. And they'll still sell a bunch of shirts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Where's that logo really going? Like what GoRuck put out is just your typical CrossFit shirts, and they look great. So maybe they just avoid using the logo.
So Carolyn says their logo on Instagram is green though and looks better. Okay. They should have sent that out to the media as a green logo then,
Yeah.
if that was their intent. And like Holly says, with black and white, you get to save on printing costs. It's cheaper to print in black and white.
Yeah, it is. You guys see it? You probably can't see the color.
It's like a yellowish green when you bring it up to the
It's
camera.
green, but the writing is what, like white CrossFit green logo.
It doesn't, for me personally. And I put out the poll without saying anything about it myself. I let you the viewers and the fans tell us what it was that you liked or disliked, and it was 75% did not like it, 25% did. Even in green, it doesn't change the font piece for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Or even the G is very thin.
Yep.
And Carolyn says, we'll get used to it and it'll be fine. I'm sure it will be, but it's the off season. We have nothing else to talk about. So
There'll be a new logo next year. Don't get too used to it.
yeah. I did hear a rumor that they were going for something more simple so that if title sponsors changed, if we have title sponsors, it would be an easier switch. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's that. So we've hit the logo and the Roman thing and the GoRuck thing. So this week, so before we get into that, I did a riff yesterday about the Masters. I've given guests on the show, even before my riff, that have won Legends the opportunity to talk about it. I understand that this puts you in a very difficult situation. And if you don't want to talk about it on the air, I completely understand.
I don't mind talking about it. And I'm probably one of the more vocal ones. I was one of the ones that had reached out to Grub. And I realize, like, I think most athletes will kind of bite their tongue and not say much. And like, nobody wants to look like the bad guy or talk down about anybody. And in this same vein, when we're talking about GoRuck being a kit sponsor, probably, and then a title sponsor, I think like that kind of designation is what probably had and has me a little frustrated with Legends. We were told that First Form was a title sponsor. And to me, there's such a thing as clothing or footwear sponsorship and title sponsorship. And so maybe this is new to them, I don't know, but I feel like maybe they should have just said First Form is our kit sponsor, your clothing sponsor for the year, because I felt like First Form was jumping in with like a decent chunk of money, and that's probably how we were going to get paid. Quite honestly, I think there's a lot, and I may be over speaking for this, so I don't know. Other people can comment on this, but I feel like there's quite a few people who would prefer not to get clothes and wear their own clothing. There's a lot of athletes that don't even wear the clothes that are given to them, even though Legends is like, hey, wear the clothes. You have to wear the clothes. Please wear the clothes. And they still go put on different shorts, different tops. Like, they clearly don't want to wear their clothes. I don't think taking away the clothes is necessarily the idea, because that is an exciting thing to get. Like, the kit is it does make you feel like you're getting something. They were trying to make it more games like when you walk in and you get that big bag of stuff and get your picture taken. So like I'm not saying that isn't something that should be provided. I do think that's a great aspect. But maybe it needs to be labeled as such that they're the kit or clothing sponsor. And that's it. Because I think when we heard title sponsor, we just thought there was probably more behind that. And
Well,
you
let's add
talked
a piece to this. Joe was on our show. They eliminated the telecast, which was a major expense. So when you hear that as well, the anticipation is that that money was where they were getting their cost savings to not go out of pocket anymore.
Mhm.
In my opinion, and this is where I don't want you to talk, is that by putting the competitors last on your priority list is where things are falling short. It happened, and this is not just Legends, so I'm not picking on them. And again, they were awesome to us when we were there. I got access I've never got before. But what you've done, you're setting a precedence that the athlete doesn't matter. And it's happened at MFC, it's happened at Legends, and it's happening again. Even though they're going to get paid out at Wodapalooza, they are not being treated like an athlete who is paying the same entry fee as the elite athletes are. If you want to make them a community athlete, then you discount the amount that they need to pay to be there. Where we have gone is the Masters, especially 35 to 49, is your cash cow. It is your cash cow for everything, for everybody. It's their open money, their quarterfinal money that's funding a lot of what's going forward, because it is 50% plus of the open population.
Yep.
And I've talked to some athletes where they're to a point where they're just accepting it because that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say this, Carolyn, because I was just saying this to Jamie before we went on the air. I think it's easier for Grub to say he's not surprised or mad because he has the most sponsors out of anyone and isn't as concerned money-wise for comps. Exactly. But when you take someone like Jamie, who's on the come up, who's trying to make a name for herself, one, you eliminate the broadcast, so there's no way for anybody to get eyes on her. Two, you eliminate prize money to offset the cost for her to be there. At some point, it's better for her just to get on Instagram and do workouts in her gym than to go across the country, because she's racked up 5 first places now. And I know I'm exaggerating, but she's built a resume. She needs exposure. She needs exposure to help her to continue to do this moving forward.
Yeah.
And I want to be the one taking the heat for this. So that's why I'm saying it.
I appreciate it. I'm not against saying it. I truly do think they need to reevaluate their priorities. O'Keefe was, I think, spot on, and we know that guy knows how to run a comp, and he basically had those sentiments, like venue payout, then we get specific equipment or signage or what. Like, you got to really set the budget, and I don't know if they need help from someone like O'Keefe to help figure out and he had some ideas in there about how sponsors, I don't know, you guys, that was a pretty good episode. I would go back and watch that, but he had some thought
On Talking Elite Fitness's channel. They talked about this morning.
It was yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday. Okay. Yesterday. And O'Keefe talked about how to put together a package. So And I said to my riff, it should be one of the first things budgeted out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I've been kind of disappointed with like the response on Instagram, in some of the posts. Just like people are like, they didn't announce a payout, so I don't know why you guys are all getting butthurt, and just like just saying we complain to complain. And I realize they didn't announce a payout, but they've paid every year. And when you hear there's a new title sponsor and broadcast is like, you just in your mind, you're like, oh, we're probably getting at least what we got last year then. Like, you don't assume that it's going from payout to zero. And not only zero, like nothing. I was pretty harsh on MFC, and we got stuff, which you talked about. And we like, hopefully they get some more payout and get their bills paid and have some left over, and we do get a little something. I mean, that's really all we can hope for at this point. And I know they will try. I know they want to pay the athletes. It just sucks that I feel like the budget maybe wasn't budgeted out correctly.
So there's a lot of comments here. I'm going to start with Lex. Grubb's comments as blanket statements for all masters was off-putting. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I love Jason. I actually consider him to be a friend now. And I'm hoping to have him on to kind of have this conversation a little further.
Yeah.
Andrew Sten says O'Keefe was part of WZA for years. Masters were treated the same as they are now. I don't trust anything he says. Jody Lynn says masters need to collectively make a stink. It's so unfair. And then Lex and Carolyn kind of echo the same thing. Podium should at least get their registration back.
At least. Yeah. It was not cheap this year. That's another thing. Like, even that went up.
I think that's where things get muddied, because mature masters athletes aren't telling people what they had to pay to do this. Right. Everybody's keeping it close to the vest, so nobody knows what the cost is to sign up for these competitions. Like Lex says, I can do without a name placard. And they didn't even use them at the event.
Nope.
So you pay for that. You have a 2-story tall sticker that goes on the wall, but you don't have a broadcast to even show it.
Yeah, completely unnecessary there.
And I don't want to pick apart things, because it was a good competition. They did treat us well. But doing simple math, I know what the registrations were. I know what the qualifiers were. And at a very, very conservative approach, you're talking well over $200,000 just in that coming in.
Yep.
And that is very conservative.
Yeah.
And you have First Form as a sponsor. You had WAD. I'm trying to think of the sponsors now. There were some big sponsors there.
There were some pretty big sponsors. I think it puts a bad taste in some of the athletes' mouths with First Form being a title sponsor and then not, like, I don't know, like, it's just weird. You would have expected a swag bag or something at the end of the weekend, if that, like, so I'm like, so that's what your title sponsorship was? No, nothing like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no protein.
no. I didn't know any vendors that didn't pay.
I think that got blown out of proportion. The email said they were still waiting on some payment and bills that they had to pay. That got taken as vendors didn't pay. I don't believe that is the case.
Yeah.
I think that little bit in the email got taken way out of context.
I do
But
think maybe some vendors backed out right before. I don't know.
I don't know. There were quite a few, more than
Yeah,
some of the old
10.
semifinals.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I don't know. It's just kind of baffling.
Yeah. I
Where
know
they
there's
save money.
athletes that it is because I know there's athletes that, especially of the younger athletes that go there for a prize purse. And to say that like we just do it for fun or the glory, like that, like you can't keep doing these just for the glory. I'm sorry. Like
That's gonna be our new shirt for 2024. As we have no sponsors ourselves, we're just doing it for the glory.
yeah.
I did not see that, Jody Lynn. Hiller ripped their protein. Perhaps that had an effect on First Form finances.
Yeah, he did kind of. In the same vein that he ripped Momentous, though, I actually think he went harder on Momentous.
I think it's about what you want in your protein.
Yeah.
And Hiller may want one thing. Joe Average may want something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. That's our negative portion of the show. We're now going to get positive a little bit. Well, Jody Lynn, like there are serious hardcore like bodybuilders or fitness people that want the purest protein you can possibly have. And some of us average Joes can't afford that. Like I can't sustain myself on that.
Right.
And so I'm looking for the best bang for my buck.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, so I have a different approach to it than like a Hiller who can afford that kind of stuff right now.
I actually
just
think
can't.
Hiller takes a price per serving view. He does a good job. He makes that caveat. Like he's not trying to. I think he thinks it's ridiculous to pay $65 for a 30 serving canister of protein. But
Yeah. I mean, there's times I buy those little Premier Protein already made things just because they're easy.
Mhm.
Like, and when I'm on the road or I'm doing a bunch of stuff, I can just grab one, get my protein in. Travis doing the thrifty shopping for us. A cent at Costco, 4-pound bag, can't beat it.
there you go. Balling on a budget.
Yep. That's where
What's
I'm
up,
at.
Travis?
So, we're going to talk Wadapalooza, and I know our guy Vindicate's going to be down there, slinging some shirts, slinging some shorts, slinging some joggers, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
And I know he had a huge year last year down at Wadapalooza, and hopefully they have even a bigger one this year. But we're going to talk about it's going on in a week and a half. We're going to do wrap-up shows, not from Miami, from the comfort of our own home. And it's going to involve the whole crew. It's going to involve the roundtable crew and Jamie and I.
Awesome.
So we're gonna hit you from weird times because we don't want to do it ultra late like we've always done it in the past. We're gonna kind of hit you midday and we'll catch up from whatever we missed the next day, and then so on, right? And then probably do a big Monday wrap up of the whole doggone thing. So look for times on that. Once we get everybody scheduled, we will let you know what shows are available when, and we'll put them out on YouTube so you know what's going on. So with that, first thing I tried to do is get who is confirmed to be there and competing. And so I have a quick list we'll go through, and then they have released some of the workouts. We'll go through them and let Jamie kind of take a peek at those and give her impressions as to what they look like this year. So with that, first of all, we have confirmed teams on the men's side that are Team Tier, which is Ricky Garrard, Dallin Pepper, and Jason Hopper. Team GoWad, Justin Medeiros, Willie Georges, and Jay Crouch. Very interesting team. Golden
Interesting,
Oldies, Pat Vellner, Travis Mayer, Will Morad. What I find fascinating here is this is breaking up a lot of teams,
I know.
right? But Pat and Travis together, and I love Will. So that team I already love out of the gate.
It's
And
just
then we
no
have the
PB&J.
Hombres, who have been doing kind of a world tour anyway.
Yes.
And that is Chandler Smith, Tolo Moraquinho, and I never pronounced that right, and I apologize. And Noah Olson.
Well, it's better than Down Under, who they just say Maracanio all the time. I'm like, what? You're not even close.
I think
No,
that is
I don't think.
actually it.
I think it's Moraquinho.
No, it's because I have said it wrong forever, and I always said it Moraquinho. It is Moraquinho.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that is the actual thing. So those are the four teams that have been confirmed by Wodapalooza. There is no leaderboard out there yet to check, so we can't even do that. But these are confirmed on their Instagram. One women's team, which is Team Ice Barrel, which is Brooke Wells, Paige Powers, and Bailey Rail. Paige and Bailey don't surprise me. The Brooke Wells aspect of that, a little bit of surprise.
Yeah, interesting.
But that is the only women's team that has been confirmed. And I will warn you, after being there last year, there were a lot of teams that changed lineups right before the team competition because people got hurt during the individual competition or withdrew for safety precautions or whatever.
Right.
So Sarah Cooper says, guess they're winning.
There's definitely more.
So on the individual men's side, we have about 7, 8, and it is Roman Krenikoff, Brent Fikowski, Travis Mayer, Pat Vellner, Nick Matthew, Guy Majeros, and Ricky Garrard. Pretty stacked lineup for only having 8 names at this point. So Lex is trying to bring us some breaking news with her sleuthing. Did you see Brooke Wells doesn't tag Noble anymore? From her last post, it looks like she may be Reebok now.
Interesting.
They all come back to the best shoes on the planet.
So much Noble apparel, I can't even imagine.
Now she'll have so much Reebok apparel, if that is in fact the case. But a very interesting observation, Lex. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron brings up Colton. Kenneth brings up Colton. I know that Colton has said things. Wodapalooza has not confirmed him as an athlete. So I only grabbed who Wodapalooza has confirmed as an athlete. Sarah Cooper says, better check her local Goodwill soon.
Yeah, she might as well just sell that stuff. That she can make a small fortune, I think.
Andrew Sten says, I saw a post that said Noble was ditching athletes. Would love to see Reebok back in CrossFit more. I agree.
They have. I feel like there's still Male is still wearing their stuff, and Tia as well.
Oh,
Male
Noble.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have a couple. They probably just.
Or we're not into the new season yet.
Yeah. I can't imagine they're going to ditch all their athletes. I mean, but they did have quite a few athletes. I guess the one to watch would be Emma Lawson. See what she is posting or wearing and posting.
So speaking of women on the Carolyn says, but I think she's still staying noble. Interesting. Okay. Individual women confirmed by Wadapalooza. Olivia Kerstetter, Emily Rolfe, Sydney Wells, Danny Spiegel, Ariel Lowen. That's all we have listed so far. I have checked 3 times today. I was hoping they'd have the leaderboard up, but they do not have it up yet. I don't know what surprise they're waiting on.
Well, did you say Aaliyah in there? Because didn't she make a post that she got backfill invite?
Again, I only went by what Wadapalooza announced, but
Okay.
Aaliyah is RX this year anyway. She is not elite.
I thought she got a backfill to elite.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't gonna go if she only qualified as RX, which is what she qualified for, and so she wasn't gonna go.
Again, I've seen a ton of people post on their Instagram, but I could not be sure to catch everyone. So I only went with Wadapalooza confirmed.
Fair enough.
On this list. So let's take a quick look at the workouts. Have you seen any of these?
Nope.
All right. So the first one is Cortadito.
Mm-hmm.
And the elite version of that is 4-time 2159 parallel bar dips, hang power cleans into 15-12-9 shoulder to overhead bar muscle ups, 185, 125. Initial thoughts?
I like it. I think that second 15-12-9 is going to be gnarly. Holy cow.
Bye-bye shoulders.
Yeah. Man, I can see some questionable lockouts on those later shoulder to overheads. That's a good workout. I like it a lot.
All right, so that's what I believe that's event 1. They don't even number them. It's kind of crazy. There's only a couple of each one. So Deja Vu is another individual workout. We go to elite. It is 3-minute, 5-minute, 4-time, 8-minute cap, 1-minute rest between each.
I did see this workout.
Assault calorie row. That assault rower is awful. 30 wall balls, 35 chest to bar pull-ups, 30 box jump overs, 25 dumbbell snatches. 2 scores. Total reps across all parts, time on part C. Now that's where I'm confused because I only see an A and a B, a 3 and a 5.
Yeah.
So I think if you go down here, there is a flow.
All over again. I mean,
I still don't see a part C.
Yeah, I don't see a part C either. You're not getting through that in the first 3 minutes.
No.
Like,
and you're starting over for the second?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming is their time. They're assuming you're finishing the second part.
in the
Five
8-minute
5
cap
minute
one,
window.
you're going to finish. Yeah, they are. I saw the no sprint to the finish. They're
Yeah,
messing with the
they're pushing my buttons.
yeah.
Nothing I hate more.
This one will be hard to follow on the floor, for sure. What's up, Jess?
There's only one 3-minute part, Andrew.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, then up to 8 minutes, but they're assuming they're probably hoping people will finish in the up to 8-minute section.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
That's
good
just
workout. Just I feel like this flow is going to be it's a good workout for the gym. I don't know how well it's going to play out on the floor.
all right. So we have 2 sprintish type workouts. Double or nothing. Elite. Your favorite for max load. 2 attempts of the following complex: 1 snatch, 1 hang snatch. 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off. Tie break is max overhead squats.
Yeah, at least there's a tie break. Is there a weight for the overhead squat tie break?
I'm assuming it's your bar, right?
I don't know how you would do that. I don't know. I feel like usually, yeah, that is really interesting.
So, Barry, which workout do you want Jamie to do tomorrow?
Which one? Oh man, max weight in this 1 snatch, 1 hang snatch. I don't know. 300.
I need to see
290.
who's going to be there.
Well,
If Tudor's there, 325.
yeah. I think you got to go off of someone like Travis Mayer. You want me to do that 3-minute, 5-minute, 8-minute one? Ugh. Yeah, I can maybe give that a go at some point. Let you know where I get to in the 3 and the 5 minutes.
Oh, Guy's there. Guy will
Oh,
hit
there
3.
you go.
He'll
Yeah.
he'll hit over 3.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be a good one for Guy.
Is he competing in the elite or the Latin America?
That's a good question too. I mean, if they get paid the same, he probably should go LATAM. Danny Spiegel is already confirmed individually. She'll
She
crush
is.
that.
Yep. All right. So that is all for the elite that I think's been announced. Yep. Because this just beat it as the bike thing. That everybody's doing except the elite.
Okay.
Then I think we get to teams, the 3-person teams. And here's Worm Fran. 21 worm thrusters. Each athlete performs 21 reps. 8 pull-ups. 7 chest to bar. 6 bar muscle-ups.
So you've got to do each of those. That sort of makes sense.
Then 15. Each athlete performs 15 reps of 6, 5, 4, and 9 worm thrusters each. 4, 3, 2, 6. Each athlete 3, 2, 1.
Gross.
While the one athlete is on the rig, the other 2 are holding the worm.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like going like third at that. I don't know. I guess there's not even a good point to be in that workout because you don't want to jump into those 21 reps straight off of 21 thrusters. You also don't want to stand there and hold it and then go do it. That's gross.
Yeah. Okay. So then
These
I
will be
think
interesting. Earth
uno,
for
dos,
France.
tres. We got to move back over here. Elite. 4-time, 20 wall walks, 40 strict handstand push-ups, 60 handstand push-ups, 1 holds handstand, 1 works, 1 rests. Into 240 synchro double unders. That's easy to judge. And then 60 deadlifts, 40 hang cleans, 20 front squats, all synchro,
Oh my gosh.
with
How are
3
they doing
varying
that?
weights on each barbell.
This is going to be a nightmare. Those 40 hang cleans are going to be a joke. Synchro. Are you actually going to stop people at the top and make sure all 3 are stopped at the top?
Yeah. What about the deadlifts? It's going to be utter chaos.
It is going to be chaos. People are going to try to go so fast.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, yeah. It's a lot of handstand push-ups too.
That is a lot. Strict into that's
40
a lot.
strict, 60 regular.
Wow, one of them's
our,
holding.
our experienced judge says they've done it before. Synchro double under is stupid.
Yeah, I remember watching at the games the synchro double under. That was interesting. But I feel like especially the 40 hang cleans is going to be the biggest nightmare. I don't know that I've seen a team of 3 synchro. I've seen pairs synchro hang cleans.
The sandbag send for time, buy-in of 360 feet, sandbag carry 120 each. Each athlete performs relay style 975, sandbag clean, sandbag squat 150, 100, buyout 360 foot, sandbag carry 120 each.
That'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I like that one.
Wadapuza always does these sandbag, and there's always judging mishaps in this one.
It's because of the short floor and the always turning. Did they cross the line? Did they not cross the line? Yeah, that's if they can get good judges on the floor for this will be good.
Right. Yeah, I just don't like when judges are the discrepancy of a winner or not, and it seems to happen a lot at Wodapalooza, especially in an event like this.
The only thing I will say, Kenneth, is because it's relay style, the first 2 people, if you dive on the bag, it's going to penalize you because your guy can't pick it up. Your second or third person cannot pick it up to then go.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if there's another one up here. Worms can't swim. For time, 30 worm clean and jerk, athlete 1 swim, athlete 2 and 3 synchro burpees, 50 over the worm. 20 clean and jerks, athlete 2 swim, athletes 1 and 3, 50 synchro burpees over the worm. Then 10 clean and jerks, athlete 3 swim, athlete 1 and 2, 50 synchro burpees over the worm, 5 worm clean and jerks.
Gross.
But I love the swim events there.
Yeah.
They're a quick out and back around the buoy that's easy to see. It actually makes it pretty riveting and entertaining to watch. Plus, you never know what you're going to get on the the way out down the little runway, people jumping over each other, people slipping and sliding. You never know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree with Andrew. That's a good team event.
Yeah.
And then finally, there's one more here. It's the bike event or bike race. And this is the one that is not the elite as well. So Just Beat It and bike race are not for the elite.
I thought everyone, scroll back down. I thought everybody was doing this. I thought this was off-site or whatever. What's that say
NDRX,
Teams Elite?
Indy Open.
What's Teams Elite? So the elite teams are running a 5K trail run.
Combined time. So they're running it individually, add up the 3 times.
We'll see if it's actually 5K.
And the Indy RX are 50 or 40 cal echo bike and then a 5K trail run.
Nice.
Yeah.
No
elite
like
Indy is on here.
No.
That's just RX elite. I think they announced it as every division except for the elite on this one.
Okay.
The elite indies.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see some of the masters on that. That's I like that event.
Just Beat It. This is Beat It double unders, dumbbell facing burpees, Beat It double unders, dumbbell thrusters. And that's the one that does not have an elite listed either. It looks like just about every individual division, not elite on that one. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
They probably don't want the elite indies doing the same workout the following day with the teams. That's a great point. Yep. Awesome. So I will stop sharing that. And the only thing I have, so that's Wodapalooza. Again, watch for our YouTube channel. We will be doing wrap-up shows. And I talked to Holly today. I don't know if she's still on. We are going to put up updates on our IG from the elites, the RX, and the masters, and the teens.
Wow.
Because I'm home to help her. We're going to split the work and put up leaderboards, stuff like that throughout the day. So watch our Instagram too for all of that. Because we'll be doing that this weekend.
Awesome.
The other thing I want to promote is I just interviewed Lynn Watt, my first ever guest from Scotland. That was a really fun interview. She was so nervous, but did so awesome. She won the 60 to 64-year-old division at Legends. It was a great interview. We had to do it in the middle of the day yesterday because of the time difference to Scotland. So if you missed that, it's well worth a watch. She's just a charming woman, and it was really cool to kind of hear what she had to say. So make sure you check that out. Then last week, in our weekend review, we talked about our best post-workout interviews. So we have collected some of those, and we're going to play them for you tonight, just to kind of remember how things went down, and take one last look back at 2023. And the first one is, I said one of my favorites was Kelly Baker after she tripped over the bag, yet still made the games. And so we're going to start there.
Oh my goodness. Did you have to give us all a heart attack in that last event?
Yeah, I'm still like reliving it in my brain. That was a nightmare, but I'm just grateful I got in.
You did enough in event 6 that you had a point buffer enough to keep it, to get you in. And
yeah, that was, my mom's gonna have a heart attack. I had no idea too. Like I think a lot of times you have a little idea, like a coach will be like, I think you're in or something. And I was waiting for them to say someone else's name.
We're very proud of you this weekend.
Yeah.
Got some more time to put some more training under the belt.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see you at the games.
Thank you.
Good job.
And that one was actually done by Jamie. Yeah, and it was one of my favorites. So that she's giving her mother a heart attack. One of my favorite lines from that. Another one from Jamie was when she chased Pat Vellner down the street. So it was this one.
The life of an elite athlete. How'd it feel?
It wasn't very good, but it's nice to have one done. So, I don't know. That was a bit of an unpredictable one just because we don't know what that equipment feels like.
Right.
And it's a bit different depending on your lane, on like what happens with the sled. So you have to deal with frustrations in the middle of the workout, which is not as common in a semi-final setting. That's like something we see more at the games. But, you know.
So you haven't used that piece of equipment, that sled piece?
No, I don't think anybody really had. And there was none in the back. So the first time you got your hands on it was after the bike.
Well, I appreciate your time. I'm gonna let you get recovered. I am excited to see you on event 2. You're my pick.
Thank you.
And Jamie gives the plug that she picked him for the next event.
I had to let him know.
So the next one is one I did. I mentioned it last week. It was Cole Sager. It was not one that I expected to be one of my favorites. But again, my mother still believes that he is a long lost relative of mine. So I guess when I interview family, things go well. So here's the Cole Sager one.
So Sundays are made for Cole.
Sundays are fun days, yeah.
Yeah. So you went out hard there, had a great workout.
Thank you.
And it came down to a couple tenths of a second.
Yeah.
Between you and Scott Tetlow. Do you love these days?
I love these days. I love pressurized situations. It's fun to compete in, it's fun to be a part of. It challenges you and teaches you things that I don't know that any other like arena would teach you. You know what I mean? It's like you get to find out things about yourself, about life. It's a fun place to be. So.
Well, the last event looks good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck on that one.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you at the games, man.
I loved his response.
Yeah. He's good.
It was good. The next one we have up is my friend Ariel, who is always super laid back at these things. And it's a short one, but I wanted to share this one too as one of my favorites.
Here with Ariel Lowen, right after Linda.
Yeah.
You're having a really good weekend doing everything you need to do.
Exactly. That was kind of the plan coming into it. Top 10. If better than that happens, awesome. But just kind of like run my own race and try not to look around too much.
With a field that wide, is it hard to not get caught up in everything going on
I
around you?
actually like it better because there's so much chaos going on. I know that not one person is watching me specifically. Like it kind of takes away some pressure because I know there's so many people. Like, who do you watch? Yeah.
Well, good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Scott.
Bye.
See ya.
Again, just hoping to get top 10.
Yeah.
This is semifinals.
Yeah.
So cool that she actually hit the podium. As I was going back through these from semis, Jamie actually hit a murderer's row where she interviewed Justin Medeiros, Chandler Smith, and Pat Vellner after the weekend was over. So I picked one from there that was just different than we'd had from other ones, and that's Chandler Smith, who was awesome.
I'm here with Chandler Smith. You just punched your ticket back to Madison.
Yeah.
You've got your wife going.
Yeah,
she qualified. I know a lot of us last year really, we felt that emotion last year out there at Granite Games with you. What does this mean to you getting back?
It means it's been the only thing I've been focused on for the last year. As athletes, our career shelf life is really short, and so you only get so many chances to prove yourself, to step into the ring with the best guys in the world. And I was very upset, or I just felt frustrated last year that I didn't get the chance to use one of my opportunities to the fullest of my abilities. And I spent the rest of last year, like with the off-season competitions, like really dialing in on that. But more importantly, now I'm able to celebrate because I have a lot of friends who've done a lot of really cool stuff this year. My wife's qualified, as you said, which is awesome. Noah made it for the 10th time. Cole Sager's one people I look up to most of the space. He made it up for a 10th time. And like, you want to be able to celebrate with these people. And even last year, like, there's a lot of folks I was very happy for. So I felt like I couldn't really give them the emotional energy I wanted to because I was so down about my stuff. So I'm just grateful that I kind of had the chance to be able to be available for other people again.
The people are excited for you. We're excited to watch you in Madison.
I'm happy to put on the show, so I'm excited to be out there.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So, such a good interview. Like,
He's awesome.
what you got out of him in that moment was so much for what, 1 minute and 7 seconds or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you
It's a good interview.
you get tight time, man. They don't let you just hang out there with these guys.
So my next one is one of my favorites that I did, and is always one of my favorites, and it's Scott Tetlow, because he just starts talking. You never know where it's going to go, but it's so much fun. And he was doing so well over this weekend, so close to a game spot, but missed out. But here's Scott.
All right, we're Scott Tetlow tied. Not only
No,
for
apparently I won according to the tiebreaker. There's a tiebreaker.
there's a tiebreaker.
There's a tiebreaker, apparently.
That happened in the women's
One
too.
round score, I guess.
So you and Colton going head to head, Fit Wars too.
I know, right? It just so happened to have burpees and ring muscle ups in it too.
Yeah.
So,
So was that the plan all along? What you unbroken on the muscle ups,
yes,
crush the pistols.
try to stay smooth on the pistols, get no reps. I got 2 no reps, but just kind of work through those and just get to the box where I saw a lot of people transition on the walk. I was like, hey, let's jog. Let's just try to get to the box and start making moves on the burpees.
All right. Great end of your day. You ready and set up for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm good. Usually past 2 events on day 2, I'm going into like chasing a spot where hopefully that was enough to keep me inside the top 10 for day 2.
Awesome job, man.
Thank you.
So good. So good that all, like, these memories are so cool that it actually was a Fit Wars rematch for the win in that event. And it was same movements that they used in Fit Wars, and Tetlow got him this time.
He is so animated. I love it.
Yeah. So the next one up is actually one you picked last week as one of your favorites. And it's not because she was at the top of the heap, but her husband was. And it was Carrie Stevenson. She was also Carrie Tobias, right? Carrie, no. Why am I not thinking it right? Anyway, she is Mitchell Stevenson's wife, but she in her own right, she was actually a better CrossFit longer than Mitchell was. And she is now prioritizing different things in her life, but she still qualified for semis. You captured that moment. It was so good.
I'm here with Carrie Beamer, also Stevenson. So you are Mitchell's wife.
Yep.
Yeah. Was your goal to make it to semifinals, and you're just kind of here?
Yeah.
Is it helpful to be
stoked to be here, but yeah.
Is it helpful to be able to give him feedback?
Yeah.
You guys share
totally.
that?
Yeah, and I have 2 other really close friends who are competing in the higher heats than me. So a former teammate of mine, Chris Stapp, and then training partner and friend Gabrielle Spence and Mitchell. So it's kind of awesome to like go first usually, and then be like, oh, the rope's a little oily, or the handstand feels like this. So yeah.
How proud of you are, Mitchell, this
Oh my gosh. Don't make me cry. So proud. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to watch him, and it's been nice seeing you on the floor.
Thanks.
So one more event, and then you get to relax and cheer your heart out for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
You caught that emotion. It was so good. The fact that like 3 members of the team that went to the games were all competing individually there at the semis was really cool. And you got to capture that, which was awesome. So we got 2 left. 2 left to stick with us about 3 more minutes. And that is, the next one is, I picked this one out for you because I thought you interviewed him so well. And it was Tudor Magda, who you caught him right after the lift, but he had a rough weekend. And I thought what you did here was awesome, and I wanted to show it off. So here's Tutor Magda.
I'm here with Tutor Magda. Just finished test 4 and 5. Started with Linda today. Went pretty well for you.
Yeah, I think I got second my heat, and I made that push at the end, so I'm happy.
You were hungry today, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
3:25.
Yeah.
Does the limit exist?
I hope not. I hope we can keep climbing, but I'd love it if the other stuff could climb with it. But we'll work on that. So
It is amazing to watch you move a barbell, hit those snatch numbers. You move it so well. We're really excited to keep watching you climb the leaderboard.
Thank you.
Great interview.
Thanks.
Because it's hard. He's not an easy person to interview. He doesn't always agree to it.
Yes. I was surprised he said yes. But luckily I just snatched his heart out, so he was, I think, a little more willing.
So my last one I left off my list last week, but it's probably my favorite from the whole season. And in this vein with these people, he's the people's champ. Everybody doubts him. And yet he keeps coming back and making the games year after year after year. And so this is right after Colton had wrapped up his 3rd consecutive CrossFit Games invite, and I got him right on the floor, which was amazing.
Hey, Colton Mertens just punched his 3rd straight ticket to the CrossFit Games. Every year you have your doubters. Every year you prove them wrong. When are people going to learn?
Hopefully, if they ain't learned by now, then they just might not learn. Honestly, though, I had a lot of doubts myself coming into this year. I started out the year in the hospital being diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, and I thought my season and maybe my career was done. I just made the choice to keep fighting and not worry about the results and what things would be. I decided to just try and be as prepared as I could on the day that it mattered, and end up working out.
So it's just like every year, you've closed some gaps. What are you going to do in the next 2 months?
Keep on doing it. It's funny. Every year I qualify since the first year. I look at the events and I say, man, if we had these events last year, I wouldn't have qualified. I wouldn't have been fit enough for these events. And this year, same thing. I made huge strides in my running and machine work, and it's paid off big time, and it got me through. So
Congratulations. You made it back 3 years in a row.
Thanks, Scott.
So good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He did his first ever podcast with us in a barn that had such a bad signal. Then we struggled through, I think it was an hour, maybe it was 40 minutes, but the struggle was real that day. And ever since that day, him and Allie have become such good friends. We got to hang out after Granite Games in 22. Yeah. And it was one of the coolest things in my life. I owe Colton a ton, and that interview was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So just a little look back at, we did over 100 post-workout interviews during 2 semifinals. That was just a taste of some of our favorites. There's so many more favorites. It was really hard to pick. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And actually, Kenneth mentioned Carolyn. Carolyn gave me so much good material that I still have sitting to do a documentary with, that I just have, because of my day job and what's happened, I haven't had time to get it cut out to do anything with. And Carolyn's one of the best interviews ever. Like, she will tell you everything that happened in that event analytically, even though it just happened to her, which is really cool. Any final thoughts from you, Jamie? It was your first year doing this.
I know. It was overwhelming, nerve-wracking. But I just kind of jumped in the deep end, and I truly appreciate the opportunity. hopefully I can just get better.
When you look back at them, do you remember them as or
Yeah.
do you black out for moments?
No, I remember, and I finish, and I'm like, "Oh, why'd you say that?" Or "Why didn't you say that?" Or, but you're so crammed for time that it's tough to get out what you want to say, or to like try to keep them in because sometimes they like Marquand wants to talk. Some of them want to talk, and you can't even the athlete control people are like yanking them away. They're like, "You got to stop." And I'm like, "They just want to talk."
Yeah, and it's crazy because we have always taken the philosophy 2 questions, 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for. There are other people in this business that go 5 minutes in these. I don't know how. I don't know how that even happens. To me, you lose the authenticity of the moment when you go beyond the minute.
Yeah.
And so that's always been since I started this in 2021, that has always been my goal. 2 questions, 1 minute. If they answer quick, you might get a third one in as a follow-up and still be under the minute. And then you get people like Rebecca Fuselier who is spitting out words that you have to catch, and you just have to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know, so I feel like now, going through it, I feel like just going and getting someone's reaction after event 4, you just ask a couple questions and just see how they're feeling, get a response to that event. If you know you have the opportunity to catch these athletes throughout a weekend, you're fine with that. It's when you only are going to get one opportunity with Rebecca, and you actually have things you want to hear her say, and you want her to be able to speak about, um or the really hard ones are not, I mean, Chandler's wasn't hard, but you actually want to recap the weekend, or you want to, you don't want to just get event 4's recap, 30-second reaction. You want more content. So, yeah, the drive-by interviews are fun. Those post workout, off the floor quick reactions are incredibly cool. And I think, if you are confident you're going to see that athlete again in 2 days and be able to get a bigger response, you're cool with the 30 response now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And the beauty of your Pat Vellner one though is it became conversational.
Yeah.
It was not an interview. It was you letting him gripe about what just happened. Yeah. And we just happen to have a camera rolling.
Yeah. I'm always up for running around and chasing down athletes. You know me. I'll just zip on down the floor and get to where I need to get to.
I'm going to finish it up with this. Jamie runs everywhere to get an interview, but nothing is more frustrating than when she runs from a workout venue to try to get to Athlete Village before they can get in, and then forget to turn on the mic.
Yeah, that was a little frustrating. It's not that I forgot. That was when you first gave me the road mics, and I couldn't see outside. So that was just first time operator error with that equipment. And I got there early enough that I spent 2 minutes on off, but I literally couldn't see in the sunlight. It was not good. That was not good. I redid that one, but yeah, not cool, because I felt like that was a good original interview.
Yeah. There's always the mess ups that hit the cutting room floor. But as you can see, the 10 we showed today were freaking awesome. And we want to thank you all for letting us take you on this journey with us, and just having a good time with it. Because in 2024, it's all for the glory.
Yeah. That's it.
That's our new theme. With that, we love you all, man. This has been a great night, catching up and getting some news out. We will see you all next week on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk.
We about to change